Hello everyone, I welcome you all in lecture 4 of module 2, axial force diagram, shear force diagram and bending moment diagram in beams under module 2 of mechanics of solids. So up till now what we have discussed was regarding standard cases, how to go for analysis of SFD and BMD, and we have discussed about few numerical how to go for analysis of simply supported beam and cantilever beam that we have discussed in last lecture. And also in last lecture we have discussed about what is relation between force acting on a beam and shear force getting developed and bending moment getting developed. It was something like dF by dx is equal to W and dm by dx is equal to F, that is shear force. And application of that we are going to go for further analysis of numerical. So we'll go through numerical 8 regarding this. So analyze the simply supported beam as shown in figure 8. So this is the diagram of analysis, and hence draw SFD and BMD, and addition to that what we have discussed up till now in the numerical, also find the position and magnitude of maximum bending moment. So this part we have not discussed in earlier lectures. So that we will be discussing in this lecture. So as it is a simply supported beam, you are aware that you need to go for analysis of reactions at the supports, because in between anywhere if you consider a section, either right part of the section or left part of the section, there will be a reaction which is unknown, and with that you will not be in position to go for analysis of shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. So before going for further, we will be initially we will draw free body diagram. You are aware that we have three equations of equilibrium. So at hinge support we are having two reaction components, HA and VA. So that is drawn in free body diagram. And at roller support we will be having one reaction, vertical reaction. So that is drawn as VB. And with three equations of equilibrium, say summation Fx equal to 0. Now there is no inclined force or horizontal force as such. So HA, that is horizontal component of reaction at A, that will be 0. And if we apply summation Fy equal to 0, then what we will be getting is VA is one of the reaction and VB is another reaction, and assuming it to be upward initially. So VA plus VB minus, now UDL is there, 26 kilonewton per meter acting over 4 meter length. So 26 kilonewton per meter multiplied with 4 meter. So that gives a total force due to uniformly distributed load, and plus 68 kilonewton point load is there at D. So 26 into 4 plus 68, that is downward. So actually the reaction will be, or the equation will be VA plus VB minus 26 into 4 minus 68 must be equal to 0. So that gives us VA plus VB is equal to 172. So with this, now there are two unknowns in this equation. So we need one more equation, that is summation of moment about one of the supports equal to 0, so that another reaction at the support will be calculated. So if we take moment of all the forces about support A, then we will be in position to calculate what is reaction at B. So we will write that. So for this UDL, that will be 26 into 4 total force due to UDL acting on 4 meter length. So 26 into 4, and centroid of that will be at 2 meter from A. So moment due to UDL will become 26 into 4 into 2, and due to 68 kilonewton point load, its moment will be 68 into, now distance between A up to D, that is 6 meter. So 68 into 6 will be moment due to 68 kilonewton force, and we have reaction at B. So VB and moment of that at A will be VB into 8, that is distance between B and A. So this 26 kilonewton per meter will be creating clockwise movement. This point load will also be creating clockwise movement. So these two terms are written as plus, and VB, if assumed to be vertically upward, that movement of VB will be anti-clockwise, so written as minus. So with this equation, if it is equal to 0, then VB is calculated as 77 kilonewton with the equation written, and if we now substitute this VB in summation Fy equal to 0, then VA will become 172 minus 77, and that gives VA as 95 kilonewton. So with this now we are knowing what is vertical reaction at A and vertical reaction at B. So anywhere if you consider section, and if you consider either left part or right part of the section, the reactions are known to you, and hence you will be in position to go for writing the equation for shear force as well as bending moment. So we'll go through calculations of shear force. So if suppose we are considering section 1-1 in between A to C, because there is UDL and beyond C UDL is not applied. So from C to D again you need to consider a particular section, because if we consider up to C any section in between A to C, then it is related with the distance x1. But if beyond C, if we consider that, then UDL, total UDL will be there beyond C if we consider left part of it, and the total force will be 26 multiplied with on whatsoever length it is acting, 26 into 4. So in between A to C you need to consider one section, in between C to D the another section will be, and in between D to B there will be one more section to be considered. So to start with, considering section 1-1 in between points A and C and distance x1 from A with origin as A. So if origin is at A, then x1 will become 0 at A and 4 meter at C. So limits will become 0 to 4 meter. So if we try to write shear force equation SF11, okay, so what we are considering is the left part of section 1-1, and whatsoever the forces are acting on left part will be writing algebraic sum of that. So we have 95 force, that is reaction at A, and 26 kilonewton per meter UDL, say over length of x1. So due to UDL total force will be 26 into x1, and as it is downward, and if we are considering left part of section, then that is negative. So that equation becomes SF11 equal to 95 minus 26 into x1. Now if we put the limits at point A, that x1 is 0, so that gives us shear force at A as 95 kilonewton, and if we substitute x1 as 4 meter, that is at point C, then it gives shear force value at C as minus 9 kilonewton. So that is calculation in between point A up to point C. So beyond C up to point D, if we consider section 2-2 over here, say at distance x2 from origin A, so this is A, from A up to section 2-2, this distance is x2, and if we are considering that section 2-2 is applicable from the point C up to point D, then if we take this section at C, x2 becomes 4 meter, and if we consider this section at D, then that x2 becomes 6 meter. So if we go for calculation of that, then with limits 4 to 6 meter, what will happen with the equation is SF22 is equal to, now if we are considering left part of section 2-2, then we have this 95 kilonewton upward force, so 95, and now in earlier equation that was 26 into x1, so that was UDL from A up to section. Now here UDL from A up to section, in between UDL is up to 4 meter only, so total UDL is now acting when we are considering the left part of section 2-2. So that UDL, if we consider it as a point load, the total force due to UDL becomes 26 into 4. So that gives 95 minus 26 into 4, and this calculation becomes minus 9 kilonewton. So now this is not in the relation with x. So what we will be getting is at point C, x2 is 4 meter and the shear force over there is minus 9 kilonewton. And so also at point D, at x2 is equal to 6 meter, shear force is minus 9 kilonewton. So again, if we consider section 3-3 beyond D up to B, then what will happen, we will discuss. So say if we go through now this section over here from D to B, it is section 3.3, and then if origin is A, then distance from A up to section 3.3 is written as x3. And if we consider point D, then x3 will become A to D, that is 6 meter. And if we consider B, from A to B, that total distance is 8 meter. So if we consider section between D to B, then the statement may be something like this. Considering section 3.3, in between points D and B at a distance x3 from A, then with origin A, the limits will be 6 meter to 8 meter. So if we now consider left part of section 3.3 and the forces acting on it, so what we have is 95 kilonewton reaction over here, minus 26 into 4 total force due to UDL acting on 4 meter, and then minus 68, one additional force is there. So with these three, again the calculation gives minus 77 kilonewton. Again, this is not related with the distance x3, but if we put those limits, x3 is equal to 6 meter, at D shear force is minus 77, and at point B with x3 as 8 meter, that gives shear force at B as minus 77 kilonewton. Now one can analyze it from right part of section 3.3. What will happen? If I am considering section 3.3 and right part of the section, then I have only that reaction at B, that is 77 kilonewton. And what our sign convention is, if we are considering right part of the section, if the force is acting upward, then that will be considering as negative. So from B to D, if we consider B as origin, and then limits will become 0 to 2 meter from B to D, and the equation will become directly SF33 as minus 77, and that is what is calculated from the left part also. So that is what is, or this can be used as a check what is done from left part or right part. Okay, so with this, now shear force diagram can be drawn. So what we have calculated is at A shear force is 95 kilonewton, at C it is minus 9 kilonewton. At D, with one of the equations it was minus 9, and with another equation it was minus 77 kilonewton, and at B it is minus 77 kilonewton. And in first equation, the x term was there and power of x was 1. So from A to C, from 95 kilonewton up to 9 kilonewton, that variation of shear force will be inclined. And from C to D and from D to B, that is in equation SF22 and SF33, x term was not there. So that is horizontal straight line, or variation is not there in between C to D and D to B. And at D, there is sudden decrease in the shear force, or you can say negative increase in the shear force, and that is due to this point load acting at D. Okay, and with these two, now one point we are getting over here in between A to C. At some point, that shear force is changing its nature from positive to negative. So we will again discuss it in calculation of bending moment. So if we go through different sections and if we go for analysis of bending moment, so as usual, section 1.1, now you are aware of section 1.1 where it is and what we understand by x1 and what we understand by limits. So if we consider section 1.1 and if we write equation for bending moment due to loads acting at left of section 1.1, then the equation will become bending moment 1.1 up at section 1 will be due to this reaction 95 kilonewton, moment of that will be 95 into x1. Okay, and moment of this 26 kilonewton per meter UDL. So that UDL, total force due to UDL or acting over x1 will be 26 into x1, and centroid of that will be at x1 divided by 2 from section 1.1. So total force due to UDL will be 26 into x1, and the distance is x1 divided by 2. So moment due to this UDL at section 1.1 that will be 26 x1 square divided by 2. So with this equation, if we now put the limits at point A, x1 is 0. So with that we'll get bending moment at A as 0, and at point C the limit x1 will become 4 meter. So with that, if we substitute x1 as 4 meter in this equation, then bending moment value at C is 172 kilonewton meter. So if we again go through section 2.2 in between point C up to D with limits as 4 meter to 6 meter from support A, and if we consider the left part of the section, and if we write moment of all the forces up to section 2.2, then the equation for bending moment 2.2 will be for this force 95 kilonewton multiplied with x2, that is first part 95 x2, and due to UDL, now total UDL of 4 meter is acting at the left of section 2.2. So that will become 26 into 4 total force. Okay, and the distance of centroid of this now 26 into 4 total force, that will be 2 meter from point A or support A, and from support A section 2.2 is at x2. So remaining distance from centroid of this total UDL up to section 2.2 will become x2 minus 2. So now the moment due to UDL, that will be 26 into 4, converting that UDL as a total force, and its centroid distance from section 2.2 is x2 minus 2, that will be movement of that UDL. And now that equation, if we substitute the limits in the equation, if at C, if we put x2 is equal to 4 meter, again this will be bending moment as 172 kilonewton meter. And if we substitute now this x2 is equal to 6 meter at point D, the upper limit of that equation, so that gives us bending moment at D as 154 kilonewton meter. Now again, if we go through section 3.3, now I am writing over here from left part, one can write it from right part. What will happen from right part is, if I am considering say section 3.3 and origin as B, and x3 is distance from B up to section 3.3, then if we are considering right part, then the equation will be just 77 into x3. Okay, and if we put the limit at B as x3 is equal to 0, then at B that bending moment is 0, and at D that will be 77 into, now that x3 will become 2 meter, so that will just be 77 into 2, so that may be 154. So or as usual, if we go through left part, then equation, total equation will become 95 into x3, that is moment due to this reaction, 95 into x3, this is total distance from A up to section 3.3. Then due to UDL, that will be 26 into 4, that is total force at center, so at 2 meter from A. So between center up to section 3.3, that distance becomes x3 minus 2. So that will be 26 into 4 total force multiplied with x3 minus 2. And again, due to this point load, that point load is at D. So between D up to section 3.3, distance becomes x3 from A to 3.3, and from A to D distance is 6 meter. So remaining distance is x3 minus 6. So that moment will become 68 into x3 minus 6. So now if we put the limits with x3 is equal to 6 meter, we will be calculating bending moment at D as 154 kilonewton meter, and if we put the limit x3 as 8 meter, then that gives us bending moment at B, that is support point, and that gives us bending moment equal to 0. It may be 0.03, 0.02 something. Okay, so that itself is 0. So if we draw bending moment diagram, then what we can draw? Now try to understand, in between A up to C, that equation was bending moment 1 1, and that with x1 square. So that is parabola from A to C, and at C it is 172 kilonewton meter, and at D it is 154 kilonewton meter, and at B it is 0. But in equation 2 Bm22 and in equation 3 Bm33, the power of x is 1, so that is inclined straight line in between C to D and in between D to B. That variation is inclined. And now why this point is drawn as more than this 172 kilonewton meter bending moment at C is, now we discussed earlier that dm by dx is 0 is giving us the point where bending moment is maximum, and if dm by dx is 0, the equation is F is equal to dm by dx, and that is what is the shear force at that point is 0. So in between A to C, at some point over here, the shear force value is 0. So necessarily bending moment over there must be maximum bending moment. So in statement it was written that also find out the point and or position and magnitude of maximum bending moment. So we'll go for that discussion now. Maximum bending moment, its position and magnitude. So this was the shear force diagram, and this we have discussed earlier. At a point where dm by dx is equal to 0, the shear force is 0 and the bending moment will have the maximum value. So the shear force is 0 in between point A up to point C. In between A to C, somewhere shear force is 0, and we have considered section 1.1 while analyzing shear force in between A to C, and we have written the equation SF11. Now if we substitute that SF11 equation, it was 95 minus 26 into x1. So if we equate it to 0, then we will be in position to find what is x, and that will give us the point where shear force is 0 from origin, that is A. So if we calculate that, it gives us x is equal to 3.654 meter from A point. So if we now substitute this x in bending moment equation, which we have written for bending moment 1.1 at section 1, so that is also in between A to C, applicable from A to C. So substituting this value in equation of bending moment written for section 1.1, now that equation was 95 x1 minus 26 x1 square divided by 2. Now if we substitute here x as 3.654, then will give us maximum bending moment as 173.56 kilonewton meter. Now try to understand, at C that bending moment value is 172 kilonewton meter, and in between A to C at x is equal to 3.654 meter, the value of maximum bending moment is 173.56 kilonewton meter. So with this discussion, we will go through one more numerical. So numerical 9, and the statement of the numerical is same as it was in numerical 8. Analyze the simply supported beam as shown in the figure, and hence draw SFD and BMD. Also find the position and magnitude of maximum bending moment. And the diagram for analysis is something as shown in figure 9a. And here again support A is hinge support, support B is roller support, and in between D to B it is subjected to UDL, and at point C it is subjected to some couple at this point as 26 kilonewton meter. That is what is addition. So we'll again go through drawing free body diagram. As usual, you will be having two reactions at support A and one reaction at support B, and we'll be applying summation Fx equal to 0. So there is no inclined force as such, so we'll not be having any other force in horizontal direction, so HA must be equal to 0. So in equation summation Fy equal to 0, we'll be considering only three forces. One is reaction at A, which is vertically upward, another is reaction at B, assuming it to be vertically upward, and the UDL applied, that is 32 kilonewton per meter, and what is the total force due to that? That 26 kilonewton per kilonewton meter is a movement acting at C. So that is not written in summation Fy equal to 0, as it is a sum of forces in y direction. So that gives us equation as VA plus VB minus 32 into 3, that is total force due to UDL, and that must be equal to 0. So VA plus VB gives us 96. Now if we take summation M about support A equal to 0, third equation of our equilibrium, summation M about any point must be equal to 0. So if we consider support A, and if we apply summation M at support A equal to 0, now the equation will be that itself is a movement. So that 26 kilonewton meter anticlockwise will just be to be added in the equation. It is not to be multiplied with distance. So that is minus 26, and due to UDL, the moment at A will become 32 into 3, that is total force due to UDL, and it will be at centroid of that. So that is 1.5 meter from B, or from A that will become 7.5. So total movement 32 into 3 total force and into 7.5, that is distance, and due to VB the movement at A will become VB into 9. So with this we can find what is reaction at B, and that gives us VB as 77.11 kilonewton. And if we substitute it in earlier equation, summation Fy equal to 0, so that is VA plus VB is equal to 96. So VA will become 96 minus 77.11. So that gives us reaction at A as 18.89 kilonewton. So now once we know what are the reactions at the support, either we can consider different sections, left part of it and or otherwise right part of it, and we can write equations for shear forces and bending moments. So calculations of shear force. Now in between A to C we are considering section 1-1 with origin as A, and at distance x1 from A with limits from 0 to 3 meter. So if we consider left part of section 1-1, we have only one force, 18.89 kilonewton reaction at A. So SF11 will be 18.89, and if we put now the limits, as x term is not there in the equation, so at A shear force is 18.89 kilonewton, and at C also it is 18.89 kilonewton. Further, if we consider section 2-2 at x2 distance from A, the limits will be from 3 meter to 6 meter from C to D. The distance of C from A is 3 meter and D is 6 meter. So if we consider section 2-2, and again if we consider left part of section 2-2, then the equation of SF22 is still 18.89 kilonewton. What it is? Now if I am considering section 2-2 and if I am considering left part of it, I have this force 18.89 kilonewton upward, and 26 kilonewton meter is a movement. What we have discussed about shear force at a particular point or at a particular section is it is algebraic sum of vertical forces either at the left part of the section or at the right part of the section. And here at the left of section 2-2, 26 kilonewton meter is not a vertical force, it is a movement. So in this equation SF22, that will not be written. So 18.89, that's all. Up to 2-2 at the left part, that is just force 18.89, which is reaction at A. So again at C, shear force gives 18.89 kilonewton, and at D still it is 18.89 kilonewton. Now beyond D, in between D to B, if we consider section 3-3 as shown over here, what happens with that? Let us go through this diagram again. So at section 3-3 over here, if we are saying that it is at distance x3 from A, and if it is applicable from D up to B, then at D x3 becomes 6 meter, and at B that x3 becomes 9 meter. And if we consider left part of section 3-3 and if we go for algebraic sum of forces, then we have first force 18.89 kilonewton, which is reaction at A, that is upward, so positive, and then 26 kilonewton meter is movement, so that is not written in the equation, and then UDL is there, 32 kilonewton per meter, and that is from D up to section 3-3. So that distance is required to be considered, so that we will be getting total force due to 32 kilonewton per meter UDL. So at D, distance from A is 6 meter, and up to section 3.3 distance from A is x3. So from D up to section 3.3 distance becomes x3 minus 6. So from D up to section 3.3 the total force due to 32 kilonewton per meter UDL, it gives 32 multiplied with x3 minus 6. Now if we put in this equation the limits of the equation, as at D x3 is 6 meter, that gives shear force as 18.89 kilonewton, and at B, that is support B position, if we put x3 as 9 meter, then it gives shear force as 77.11 kilonewton, and that was the reaction at B. So with this, now if we draw the shear force diagram, how it is varying from different position to position. See what we have calculated. At A it was 18.89, at C also it was 18.89, and at D still it is 18.89, because in between from A up to D there is only this reaction at A. So from A up to C or A up to D, if we consider the left part of the section or left part of point D, then there is only reaction 18.89 kilonewton acting at A. So in between A to D the shear force is same, 18.89 kilonewton, and beyond D that UDL is acting. So then that UDL will take part, and then the shear force is varying, and in equation 3 that x term is there and power of that is 1. So from D up to B it is inclined straight line, or variation is inclined, and then at D it was positive 18.89 and at B it is negative 77. So that is what is the shear force diagram. And now in between D to B, at D it is positive 18.89 and at B it is negative 77. So in between D to B somewhere there is a point where shear force is 0. So that also we are going to calculate afterwards. So we will go through how to go for bending moment calculations now. Now if we consider section 1.1 and if we consider bending moment due to the forces acting at left part of section 1.1, then we have just only this reaction 18.89, and if this distance is x1, then bending moment 1.1 will become 18.89 into x1. So now if we put the limits from A up to C, at A x1 is 0 and at C x1 will become 3 meter. So at A bending moment becomes 0, and at C if we put in this equation x1 as 3 meter, it gives value of bending moment as 56.67 kilonewton meter. If we go through section 2.2, and now if we consider the forces at left part of it, so we have reaction at A, that is 18.89, and now section 2.2 if we have considered it as distance x2 from support A, so the moment due to this will become 18.89 into x2. Okay, and beyond that at C we have movement 26 kilonewton meter. So due to 18.89 kilonewton reaction, that will be clockwise movement at section 2.2, and 26 kilonewton meter is anti-clockwise. So in the equation that is 26, and that itself is a movement. So need not multiply with the distance between point C and section 2.2. That itself is a movement. So equation for bending moment 2.2 becomes 18.89 multiplied with x2, that is distance between A and section 2.2, minus 26. And now if this section 2.2 is applicable from C up to D, now limits are from 3 meter to 6 meter, that gives us at point C, if we put now in this equation x2 as 3 meter, bending moment gives 30.67 kilonewton meter, and at point D x2 is equal to 6 meter, it gives bending moment as 87.34 kilonewton meter. Similarly, if we go through section 3.3 and if we consider right part of section 3.3, then between point D up to point B with origin as A, and from A up to section 3,3 if distance is x3, and then at D that distance becomes 6 meter and at B it becomes 9 meter. So those are the limits for the equation. So that equation will become, now for this reaction it becomes 18.89 into x3 as distance, and minus 26, that itself is a moment, and then due to UDL, now bending moment will be there. So 32 and UDL will be acting over x3 minus 6 meter, that is the distance on which this UDL is acting. So 32 into x3 minus 6 will give us total force due to UDL in between D up to section 3,3, and that will be at center. So that will be x3 minus 6 divided by 2. So that gives us 32 into x3 minus 6 multiplied by x3 minus 6 divided by 2. So that is written as x3 minus 6 square divided by 2. Now if we substitute the limits as x3 is equal to 6 meter at point D, then the bending moment with equation BM33 is 87.34 kilonewton meter, and if we substitute in the bending moment 33 equation at point B, the other limit is 9 meter, so that gives bending moment equal to 0. So if we draw a bending moment diagram, it will be something like this. At A it was calculated as 0. Then at C with bending moment 1,1 equation, it was calculated as 56.67 kilonewton meter, and with the bending moment 2,2 equation at the point C, that bending moment is 30.67 kilonewton meter. So due to this couple acting at C, 26 kilonewton meter, then in bending moment diagram at C there will be sudden decrease in the magnitude of bending moment. And then at D it is 87.34 kilonewton meter, and at B it is 0. And with equation bending moment 1,1 and bending moment 2,2, the term x is there and power of x is 1. So just that is inline variation, and from D up to B, that power of x is 2. So that is second order parabola in between D to B. And even at D, the bending moment magnitude is 87.34, and at B it is 0. But in between D to B, at some position, the shear force is changing from positive to negative, or at some point shear force is 0. So that gives dm by dx is equal to 0, and at that point bending moment will be maximum. So we need to calculate the position where that shear force is 0. And at that point, then we will be calculating what is maximum bending moment. So if we again go through SF33 equation, as in that shear force diagram, in between D to B, that shear force is 0. So at a point where dm by dx is 0, shear force is 0, and the bending moment will be maximum. Okay. So we'll go through that equation. The shear force is 0 in between point D and B. Hence, we will be equating the equation of shear force written for section 3.3 to 0. So SF33 was 18.89 minus 32 multiplied with x3 minus 6, and that is equal to 0. If we equate it, then it gives x distance 6.59 meter. So this distance from A up to point where shear force is 0 is x is equal to 6.59 meter. And now if we substitute this 6.59 meter x value in BM33 equation, so substituting this value in equation of bending moment written for section 3.3, then that gives us maximum bending moment with this equation as 92.92 kilonewton meter. So that is magnitude at that point where shear force is 0, and that gives us the position and magnitude of the maximum bending moment, and it is shown in this diagram now. So in between D to B, at this position where x is 6.59 meter, so it is from A up to that point where shear force is 0. At that point, bending moment, maximum bending moment is calculated, and that is obtained as 92.92 kilonewton meter. So that is maximum bending moment. So with this we will conclude this lecture. I am thankful to all.